Hi there YouTube, Musical Aviator here. We have a Cessna 152 today. A fake Echo Alpha Victor. It's roughly the right colours. We won't spend too much time outside. Anyway, let's have a look at where we're going today. So, we landed in Mildura not that long ago. Last week I think it was, in the 172. Coming out of Mildura, we are going to be heading toward Renmark, which is right here. And funnily enough, that's on an airway, so we can actually use this wonderful VOR, head 262, out 70 miles, and we'll end up in Renmark, straight through. So as you can see on this map, we'll be coming along. Actually, it's probably better to look at, say, Google Maps. But anyway, we're flying pretty much close to the Murray River. We cross it, in fact, just before we hit Renmark. We'll come into a landing at Renmark and then head out down to Murray Bridge in South Australia. So the Cessna 152 burns about 24 litres of fuel an hour. We've filled it up with 76 litres. That's not quite full, but it's as close to full as we can get while still carrying myself and one other human being. The aircraft, of course, has a maximum capacity of 2 people, which we'll be loading it up with. Very slow aircraft at 95 knots. The first leg should take us 45 minutes. Hello to Aviator 997 and to Toilet Inspector and Patrick. Lockdown New Zealand, yes, I heard. Everyone in the Southern Hemisphere is getting locked down these days. Getting out of hand. Anyway, once we get down into Renmark, we'll think about uploading some extra fuel. We need at least 46 litres of fuel to get down to Murray Bridge with 45 minutes of holding time. According to my calculations, we should get there at about 57 litres of fuel to Renmark, so we should have more than enough to get there, but we might pick up some fuel just in case. These aircraft aren't fast and they can't fly very far, but there you go. And about 1 hour between Renmark and Murray Bridge. But we'll set up our first flight ready to go. And we'll put that away. Lucky to get 95 out of Echo Alpha Victor. That's because Echo Alpha Victor is a 150. This is a 152. It's got a whole extra, what, 20 horsepower or something like that. My mouse has just run out of power. Gonna have to plug it in. That's gonna be annoying. Should have plugged that in last night. Oh well. With that done, let's jump on board. Watch heaps of YouTube because you're bored, stuck in lockdown at home. That sounds like my life. Yes, I've done a bit of that as well. Stuff you wouldn't do in the office if you were there. Okay, let's get those flaps down. Done. Now this aircraft can only do 30 degrees of flaps, not the 40 that you can do to a 150. And we don't have any wheel cowlings, unlike the real Echo Alpha Victor. Okay, all of the moving bits are moving. I guess we'll do an oil check as well. Make sure the pitot covers are off. They all are, because they are by default. This is a default aircraft after all. And you do some fuel drains to make sure that the fuel in there is just fuel. And you probably jump on top to make sure you have enough fuel. And we do. We have about 38 litres in each tank. So, with all of those checks completed, let's jump in. I'm going to go ahead and call up the AWIS.
Automated Weather Information Service, Mildura Airport, time 0849 Zulu, wind, calm, visibility 25 kilometers, cloud clear below 10,000 feet, temperature 13, dew point 5, QNH 1022 hectopascals, rainfall last 10 minutes nil. Automated Weather Information Service.
So winds are calm, we can use pretty much any runway. I'm thinking 27 because that's the direction we want to go. We could do 36, but no, I'll go for 27. I'm almost tempted to do runway 36 via Bravo and then enter runway 27 to backtrack from 36. That sounds weird and complicated, so maybe go via Charlie. Switches are in. Dome light is the red light. Pitot heat, not for the moment. Beacon light goes in. Nav lights. Just checking around the aircraft, nobody's around. Clear prop. Brakes are in. Don't have my fuel switch ready. Fuel switch is ready. Set for 1000 RPM. Radio's on. Transponder. And we'll need a CTAF. .118.8. Set, gonna check in 122.80 on the other side. There's no Melbourne Centre on, so I lifted both. And altimeter 1022. Mildura traffic, Echo Alpha Victor is taxiing the runway 27 via Bravo. We'll call for backtrack. Brakes are out. Hello there, Shuckers. Hope you're well. From Hamilton Island. Nice. Down to Essendon. Yeah, the CJ4 is a very nice aircraft. I do hope they can figure out that Navigraph chart issue, which came with the update. You can't move around the chart properly anymore. Everything else works fine. It's just that one little feature. Yeah, lockdown is maddening. Did we miss our turn off? We did miss our turn off. Dang. Okay, we need to do a run up because we haven't done one yet. Yeah, working title. I still can't believe that they are essentially the only group that have made an autopilot that does everything. I know PMDG is coming, but they're not actually here yet, so until PMDG are here, working title is the only the only working VNAV and holding in an autopilot that we have in the whole sim. Anyhow, we're ready to start some fun. $1,800. Yeah, the turn Gordon needs to be in op. Pretty much. Okay, let's drop one mag. Okay, it's about 75 drop there. It's better than the 172, which drops like 150. That's about the same. Happy with that. Checking the suction. That's in the green. And the carby heat. Yep, good drop on the carby. Yeah. And so is its this thing. Attitude indicator. Attitude, TNC, and the vacuum pumps. It's a very VFR machine. If you're not looking outside, you're not flying the plane properly. Mildura traffic, Echo Alpha Victor, Cessna 150 is entering runway 27 to backtrack. Taxi lights on, all the lights that I've got are on. Just have the flaps going. Just checking my compass. That's exactly 180 degrees off. Brilliant. Okay, there's runway 27, come to a stop. Two things I need to do. That's pointing almost directly west, maybe, yeah, it's pretty much there. So that's in that direction. Why is that not letting me go all the way around? There we are. Flaps are up. Ailerons are good. Mildura traffic, aircraft Victor departing runway 27, straight out departure. She flies at 60. I've planned a 70 knot climb, might go 75. Time is 2 minutes past. Time 6 and heading 254. Going to use the VOR for this leg. There's no DME there, so I just need to do timing. Got 2 minutes to get to altitude, which is 1,000 feet up. That sounds about right. We'll get there. Wish this thing had some kind of elevated trim or a rudder trim, but no, it doesn't. No autopilot as well, so it's simply hand fly it. So, Sturt is a Sturt highway, and I can... I thought I saw it. There it is, yeah. Cool. So when we hit the next minute, right about there, we should see the Sturt highway, and I do see it. We're right over it. Cool. A little bit south, of course, so I'll recorrect for that. Get stable first before we do any silly stuff. In fact, I think we'll make it all the way out to Renmark, and we'll see if we can do any fun. Look at that, 95 knots. Can't do that in the real Echo Alpha Victor. So the time 6 was right. $21. And where is that? Bend in the river, right? There's the Murray River snaking around up north. At some point, about 15 minutes from now, a bend in the river will almost cross our path. If we're right on the centre line of the path, that is. We're a little bit too far south currently. The other thing we're a little bit too far is high. We're actually going to begin that descent. What heading do we need to be at again? 254. We'll stick it on 260 until we recover. trim seems a little oversensitive at times, but it's okay. Downside of the Flightsim is you can't tell any effects of G-force loading, so apart from the carburetor cutting out. I think it'd be more interesting to do a stall and a spin at some point, but I want to be in an aerobatic area at least 3,000 with a lot less fuel on than this. And above 3,000 feet. Trying to pick a place up ahead, roughly in our direction of heading, so I can just look out the window at it instead of looking inside. It's a better way to fly. I'm picking this space here. $6,500 for a spin. Cool. Thanks for that. And some way of navigating as well. Out here I'm kind of a bit more interested in. Actually, it's probably best to do it on this leg because we actually have a VOR to come back to. Shall we do it? Shall we spin the plane? Vote by making a comment. Yes or no. Yes spin, no spin. I mean, the aircraft's empty. Look at that. Nothing in the back here at all. Yeah, the directional gyro will be way off, so I need to come back to that heading over there. Let's have fun. Maybe at 997 says yes. Let's do it. Let's go up. Throw away all of our planning. Luckily it's this leg, so we actually have a VOR that we can track all the way down to Renmark. We'll land at Renmark, take on some more fuel, and then head down to Murray Bridge. Now the difficulty between Murray Bridge and Renmark is there's no VORs, there's no NDBs. It's simply compass time, compass speed and time. So that's probably the worst leg to do it on, unless you got all the way to Murray Bridge and then did the stalls over Murray Bridge. But yeah, I think we can do it out here, and then everyone at the Maccas. That's hilarious. We're going into lockdown. Quick, grab some Big Mac. Cool, so we can probably navigate to Bend in the River via the VOR, because I know what that looks like. It's quite distinctive. One after that is the border with South Australia. There are some parts of this trip that are easy to navigate and some parts that are quite difficult. So this is one of the easy parts. Easy enough to pick back up. New South Wales cases was 633 or 634 depending on how you count. They're catching up. I'll be up to Melbourne's worst possible numbers soon enough. In fact, I predict that might happen this week, either today or tomorrow or Friday. They're going to hit the big old 700. Expecting 1,000 soon. I don't think Melbourne ever hit 1,000. We got to 800 something. That's it. That's our max. This goes to prove City 2021 is just Melbourne 1 year in arrears. Pity you can't do the silly clock thing. It's like, welcome to Brisbane. Please put your clocks back 1 hour and several years. 7:25, yeah, that's right. Cool. Yeah, Delta does seem to be spreading quicker. It's not killing as many people though, so at least there's that. At least you haven't got 800 people dying. You've just got like 3 or 4. What's it so far now? It's like 13 or 14 people. Still in the teens, early 20s. Coming up to 6,000. $60. Alright, cool. It's more than I thought. I thought we were still in the 20s. Time 21, we're at the River Bend. Yep, that's the River Bend that I was talking about. So we'll play around the River Bend. Let's do a little 360 here. Okay, the location we're at right now is somewhere between Ned's Corner and Colorado, if you want to find it on a map. There's 6,000, we're heading east. That's River Bend. So I reckon we'll do a steep turn and then go into a spin, a stall, and then develop all the way into the spin. Just checking that no one else is around where we are. I'm pretty happy with that. We've done a 180. Let's do a steep turn, 60 degree, 2 Gs, back to an eastbound heading. Actually, I want to go northbound, because that river is pretty obvious. I think if we come out there, that's about right. Cool. Let's do this. All the way into 60, there it goes, and pulling back. That was beyond 60. Oh, that's hilarious. Great story. Landed at Renmark one day, went to the hangar door and was like, there's a big mess of huntsmen on the door, let's leave. I came back to my own house once and saw a massive huntsman sitting on the door. I had a very similar reaction, although I had to stay. Okay, that's 2 steep turns. To a power off stall. There she goes. Nicely bit. Only lost 1,000 feet. Wasn't too bad. Let's do a standard stall this time. That was about 400 feet. Give it some beans, and I want to head westbound again. A gooey spider from Toilet Inspector. Okay, we're kind of heading westbound 250-ish. It didn't topple too bad. Oh, okay, kind of did. 2-4. Yeah, a little off. Okay, I'm going to head back down to 2,500 and complete the journey. We'll call this River Bend. The time is 28. So that's west 10 there. Okay, cool. Go past River Bend, I've called that 28. Let's see what the next position will be. .46. Heading towards that lake over there. Cool. Spiders versus rats. What is the worst? Depends how many there are. If there's one spider, depends what kind it is. If there's one rat, that's probably a dodgy place, but if it's not like literally on my person, we'll be fine. And just walk away from it. And recognize that that place is pretty bad. Shared cockpits in 2020. Yeah, sure. Be funny to do a, you know, training session on these aircraft, or even do one of these cross-country flights as a shared cockpit. We'd have to do a shared stream with someone though. Simon with a webcam that can broadcast webcam onto my Discord. But yeah, FS 2020 doing shared cockpit. That sounds like a bit of a good laugh. Yeah, do some unusual attitude recoveries in a shared cockpit. It's like, close your eyes, and I'm just going to do this to the aeroplane. Alright, then recover. Funny. If I had to find my way to Renmark without any idea of where I was, at this point in time I'd probably head north until I hit the river, which is really only up there, and then we'll follow the river. It'll put us a little bit too far north in Renmark, but Renmark's literally on the river, so. And if you miss Renmark, then you just keep following the river until you hit the sea, and then land at Tail and Bend, which is right there. Actually, Murray Bridge is just up the road, so just fly the Murray Bridge from the Lake Alexandrina. Still tending too high, so I'm going to trim down a little bit. We're also a little bit too far to the south again. I wish these aircraft had the ability to drain left and right tank, because they're not just drain a little bit more from the left side. It tends to be pulling out that way a little bit. No autopilot on this thing, it's just all flight controls and trim. You've only got elevator trim, there's no rudder trim. Just straight up trim for pitch and left and right. I'm going to point at the west at the moment and just get back on the VOR. We won't have that luxury when we're flying the next leg out of Renmark. Have to stay on it like a hawk. Hello Gaming XP20, hope you are well. How are these lockdowny times treating you? Yes, a very straight road. Is that the Sturt Highway? I imagine it is. Yeah, it is the Sturt Highway. Past Ned's Corner. The ironically named Ned's Corner, because I don't know if there's any corner. I think there is one corner right there. The corner with Mengirl North Road. So maybe it's called Ned's Corner because it's literally the only one corner on that road. The rest of it is dead straight. Sturt Highway, which is the same surname as the Sturt's Desert P came from. Same guy. Charles, I think. Charles Sturt, the explorer. We're at the altitude I wanted. Now that we have 5 minutes, just going to check the next charts. Renmark, elevation 100 feet, give or take. We have an AWIS and a CTF 1267. Hi Jimmy, hope you're well. Mr. Payne. Hope we get let out of lockdown at some point in September. There's an actual event that I was meant to be going to in September, and it's looking less and less likely to happen. All we need is one more lockdown extension and we're done. Just as I'm trying to make an outbound call to the AWS, I get an inbound call from Mum, which I rung up on. I've already spoken to her tonight. Probably get another one. Where's AWS? 08, okay. Checking. Yep.
Automated Weather Information Service. Renmark Airport. Time 0942 Zulu. Wind 070 degrees magnetic at 5 knots. Visibility 25 kilometers. Cloud clear below 10,000 feet. Temperature 14. Dew point 4. QNH 1021 hectopascals. Rainfall last 10 minutes nil. Automated Weather Information Service. Renmark Airport.
Cool, so that's Renmark. We have a altimeter that's 1 digit less than what we have it at now. Sorted. Wind 070 at 5. There's a runway 07, so we're going to join downwind from the dead side into the downwind 07 left hand side. See if there's any local traffic. Kangaroos in vicinity of the aerodrome. Okay, that's very Australian. I'm gonna get back into my heading and fly straight down that road. Got a message. Cute. South again. Coming up on the crossing of the river here. That's time for 7. 46 was the border. So we're now in South Australia. So only time 50 and then 54. Call it 55. Pikes Lagoon is the next position. Yes, Titan Spectre. Yet another country going to the dogs. Quite sad to see a failed state and people trying to run away from it. People that don't really understand aviation. Probably seeing a C-17 for the first time in their lives. So I can grab onto that little wheel under there, and then the wheel tries to retract into its undercarriage, so yeah. Anyway, we're going to make a broadcast to the Facecam. Renmark traffic, Echo Alpha Victor, it's a Cessna 150, 2,500, approximately 12 miles to the east of the field. We'll be joining downwind runway 07, estimate circuit time 55, traffic Renmark. That's Pikes Lagoon that we're about to fly over. In about 1 minute from now, then 4 minutes to the airfield. Yeah, it's going to be quite tough when you're in that kind of situation as a pilot. It's like taking off is probably going to injure and or kill someone, but you can't take Afghanistan with you on your aeroplane. It's like, how many people can you cram into this plane? A few thousand? Probably not. Yeah, there's just nothing to say about it apart from dang. Poor dudes. Yeah, that's basically west, so we'll just need to turn a little bit out. To that runway. I think it is. Start out ascent 1,600. Oh, that's Renmark Township. Let's not do that right there. 600 people on a C-17. Yeah. Renmark traffic, Echo Alpha Victor is overhead Renmark Township at 2000, setting 1600. We're joining at downwind runway 07. Traffic, Renmark. Okay, brakes are released, undercarriage is fixed, mixture coming up to the ridge. Pump doesn't exist. Fuel is set on. Seats and harnesses are secure. Hey there, Krog Madden. Hope you're well. Gotta love a Cessna 152. This is our pretending to be a Cessna 150. Seems to have grown a few extra horsepower. Unfortunately, it did mangle the paint job a little bit, but you get some things and you lose some others. Yep, I'm going to descend into the downwind now. Renmark traffic, Echo Victor, downwind runway 07. Yeah, pretty bored. Kind of okay. I did proper work today, so I think I'm starting to figure out what I'm doing. And I'm not feeling like I need to run away and become a truck driver anymore. I think I can actually learn what I'm meant to do. It's a little bit overwhelming when you change roles twice in as many months, but you know. Get on the horse, learn how to do all the stuff. Figure out that it's probably not as hard as it seems, and continue working from home. Not that there's anything bad about truck driving, and I'm probably not going to be that good at it anyway, so although I was just fantasizing about getting out of a house and not having to think hard. Just drive. Let's turn in. Pop a bit of flap. Exactly, that's what I was thinking. It's like, do this, but like on the ground. Do what we're doing in the live stream, but in a truck instead of in a plane. Drive to Renmark, that'd be fun. Renmark traffic, Echo Alpha Victor, Cessna 152 is turning final runway 07. Traffic Renmark. Oh, undercut that a bit. Shouldn't drive a truck. Fair enough. Wouldn't mind getting a truck's license just for the heck of it, having done it. It's one of those skills that I don't have. Heck, sometimes parking my just normal car is a challenge. Honeycomb Magnum, I'm using the Honeycomb Alpha and the Bravo. And a CH pedals. Flaps on the way up. One good thing about the Cessna 150 is they certainly don't use much runway. I can see the exit up there. Renmark traffic, Echo Alpha Victor, vacate the runways. Okay, we're going to pull up in here, see how much fuel we have, because we did spend an extra 8 to 10 minutes doing the climb and the spin. If we need to top, actually probably just grab some extra fuel. We can put about 36 litres in each tank and still be okay. So the big question, where do you get fuel from around here? Not seeing a Bowser. Just gonna come into a stop. Park and brake. Handling, flying fuels, avgas and jet A1, 24-hour credit card swipe Bowsers. Okay. Yep, credit card swipe Bowsers. None of these silly mobile card things that you can't use. So the big question is, where is it? Past the runway, okay. I think it's down in there. Surely not. That looks like hangar stuff. No, that's definitely hangar stuff. Just ask this fine gentleman to fuel us up. Alright. We could do that. Or we meant to be over on that side. I'm not sure. come back to him if we can't find our way around here. Unless they've not modelled it on this airfield, which is possible because it is default. Nope, there it is over there. Cool. Fuel, glorious fuel. So you guys are in lockdown, but you're still allowing aeroplanes to fly around. Okay. Are there any cases in the South Island? Because if not, I would have suggested maybe locking down the North Island. And, yeah, just let you guys in the South do what you guys in the South do. But I'm not Jacinda, so I have no say in the matter. That's 9 PM, let's shut it down. It kept on running for a little longer than I expected. Logbook of Doom coming up? No? Nice. Haha. Yeah, no cases South Island, so why bother locking it down? Just cut the south from the north. Be fixed. Okay, we've got, what's that, 28 in each tank. They're a little bit less than minimum required, so we will need to take on fuel. Oh well, let's do it. You can go to about 38 in each tank. Done. Okay, now that we've refueled, we do need to sump the tanks, make sure there's no water in them. And of course, pay the credit card. This is a normal standard credit card. So the payment on those credit cards are simple basic credit card, swipe it. Sometimes you get the weird like branded ones, Mobile, BP. You need a special card for them. And if you don't have the special card, then you can't pay. And if it's the BP ones, then you can't start the fuel pump without swiping the card first. So you won't get any fuel. Anyhow, not a problem here. Indeed. Having water in the tanks is not a good idea. Also having Jet A1 fuel in a Cessna 152, not going to work. I was about to say not going to fly, but that really sounded like a silly expression to say when you're talking about an aeroplane. Anyhow, let's talk about how we're going to go to Renmark. We're already in Renmark. How are we going to go to Murray Bridge? So, flight number 2, Renmark to Murray Bridge. Flight time 56 minutes. We're not going to be doing any funny business on this one, like stalls and stuff. So it's pretty much take off and beeline it straight down track 225. 95 knots, 2,500. The biggest leg is this one, and Stott to Bow Hill. We'll have a look at the VTC when we get down to that space. It's pretty hilarious. Anyhow, we just need to start up, make sure our DG is aligned. I'm showing 204 degrees. Which is there. Alright, let's start her up. Engine is warm. Throttle is set. Beacon is on. Nav lights are in. Throw the strobe on for a sec. Clear prop. Brakes. 1,000 RPM. Strobes off. Flaps are up. Run the CSAF 1267. QNH is set 1021. Wind 070 straight down the runway 07. Brakes off. So this is scary. We're going to be navigating without any VOR, no NDBs anymore, and no GPS. Straight up dead reckoning and nothing else. Renmark track Echo Alpha Victor is taxiing out of the field houses runway 07. We'll be joining 07 backtrack. Echo Alpha Victor. Come up before the runway for takeoff checks. There's 19. Good drop on the left side and the right side. Both magnetos good. Carby heat. Checked and clear. Suction is good. Temps and pressures in the green. Lights on. Renmark traffic. Cessna 150 Echo Alpha Victor entering runway 07 to backtrack. They got all backtracking of the entire runway length, of which we'll probably use about half to get airborne, if that. Yes, Cro-Magnon, it is indeed an aircraft I've flown in real life. In real life it's a Cessna 150, not a 152, with a nose wheel. Yeah, pretty small, aren't they? 150s. The paint doesn't quite look like that, but if you had have seen the thumbnail earlier in the broadcast, or if you're on YouTube, you'll see the thumbnail as the video. That's the real aircraft. Similar paint, similar colours, it's just, you know, has a gap in the back there where the rego is, instead of lines going through the rego. It's got a nice little white section there. The rego is red instead of black, and it's got two little grey lines on either side of the red. I'm sure there's other differences as well. At the moment, Echo Alpha Victor lives at Bacchus Marsh here in Melbourne. Bacchus Marsh Airfield. Renmark traffic, Echo Alpha Victor, departing runway 07, downward departure. iBot 1_. Hello. Vatsim is great fun. At the moment it's less fun because we're flying outside of controlled airspace in the CTAFs, so there's not really many people around to talk to, but yeah, if you see probably my earlier video, you'll get to see what it's like when you're flying airliners, or sometimes you get to fly aircraft this large in controlled airspace, but it doesn't have an operator enough. Out here in the outback of Australia, there's no ATC to talk about, so we're just flying. There's 500 feet. First flight sim? Ah, that's good to know. Yeah, it's not a bad little flight sim. I'm just flying a bush trip around Australia, the entire, like I did a big, almost 2-year flight plan last year that we kind of accelerated through 2020, and that was in prepared version 4, and then now that this flight sim's come out, I thought I'd do a second lap of Australia. That's where we're up to, Renmark in South Australia. We've just entered a new state. Heading down to Murray Bridge. So now we're just out of the runway. We need to head on our first heading, which is 220. Can't make the turn until we pass 1,600, because that's 500 feet above the circuit. So we need to keep on climbing, and as soon as we can make that turn, Right about there. Renmark traffic, Echo Alpha Victor, crossing the centerline runway 07 at 1,600 on climb 2,500, tracking 200, Echo Victor. So I know there's nobody listening, apart from us, but you still have to make the broadcast. Gonna start pulling out some mixture. If you listen carefully as you pull the mixture back, the engine starts becoming a little bit more vibrant, like a little higher in pitch, and then it'll start to drop, and at that point you're at the 2 litre peak and you have to push it back a bit. Right about there. So come back up to the peak and just a little bit more. Controlling. Each region, think of it like a country, unless you're in Europe, in which case some multiple countries, but yeah, essentially a country has a region and then you apply to be a controller there. They'll do all the training for you. So once you've made the application, they'll put you in line to train with one of the instructors. You'll get your first rating, which means you're allowed to control like ground and delivery and possibly tower. Then the next one up, and approach and that kind of stuff. Yeah, most controlled airports would have, well, not always, can be controlled. It's a volunteer basis, so it's not like it's guaranteed to have ATC on all the time. We do have Vatastic. Currently there's an air traffic controller in Melbourne. Nothing happening in Adelaide, but as Dan Andrews would say, who'd want to go there? Northwest US. What time is it there though? It's like 6 in the morning. I don't think you'll find many controllers online at 6 in the morning, but anyway. There's one in Chicago and that's it. Try in about 12 hours. Heading. Oh, I forgot to time this. So 7 minutes out from 27. We should add Glossop. Oh yep, I know Glossop. So Glossop is a nice little township with its main export is wine. They have this massive, huge winery. It's pretty cool. We should be able to see it. There's a building with a very large blue roof, and then around it is a whole bunch of these massive like tanks. And when you look at this thing and go, oh, is that like fuel or grain silos? No, that's wine. Massive tanks of wine. Like we're talking hundreds of tons worth of wine. So that's what Glossop is about. C777. Ah, we've come off course again. Let's come back. I have a tendency to turn left, so probably safe to stay right of course slightly. Oh, that's nice, cool. Yeah, the only thing I've ever known about Glossop is the winery. They call it Berry, B-E-R-R-I for India. That's Berry Wines. And there's also I can't remember what kind of band they had there. It was a brass band that used to do competitions. I think they were either B or C grade. They made a bit of a noise when they came in during the state national, the national brass band championships. So I still remember the name from brass banding. I was looking up that town today because we were going to fly over it, and apparently the band has gone into a bit of a free fall after COVID. It's a bit hard to do band practice when you're not allowed to gather in large groups, and a brass band needs 35 members. And the high school at Glossop wants to change its name to Berry, which is a little odd since their town is Glossop, but the winery is named Berry Winery. So they're naming the school after the winery? Okay. Double check that. Heading is meant to be 220. Yeah, we're way left. I think that's Berry there. Just need to check something. I think we're over it already. Yeah, we came out on the wrong heading. Damn it. That's Loxton. That's fine. I'm clearly old enough to drink, but I don't really care much too, so I don't. We're too far east of our line because we came out of our airfield too far to the left, so I need to come back around to about 240 for about 5 minutes, maybe longer. There's the lake. Okay, that's Bomira. Where's the big lake? Up there. Okay. So this is here. Cool. Right, this should nearly be New Home. Right about there. Cool. Alright, we're back on course. Back to the heading. That was 32. Actual entry was at 29, which is a bit weird. 29 plus 8 equals 38. 37 on a heading of 219. Right there. Cool. That was a bit exciting. We didn't fly over Glossop properly, but we flew over New Home. I did identify it, and now we're flying off to the next one, which is Stott. S-T-O-T-T, that's a road. So in 37 minutes we should cross Stott Road. See you all, Inspector. Have a good evening. This leg is the tough one because we've got a massive long distance of this. Would have been easier, but would have taken much longer to follow the river. We'll eventually catch up with this same river again as it winds its way around. We'll cross it 3 times. So it's going way off to the west before it almost does this like big right angle turn at a place called Morgan. Morgan is very famous for its paddle steamers. Morgan used to be like a massive inland port in South Australia, right up to right about the World War I era. Became less important as the railway took over the river trade. I'll take my earpiece out. This district out here with this massive flat bit of land, kind of dry farming land. They call it the Mallee. The grape growers and the fruit growers back there in Berry do relatively well, but out here are a bit dry. Type 32. We're going a little bit quicker than I expected. I expected 95 knots and we're doing like 100. The aircraft's behaving itself pretty well. Needs a bit of a nudge off to the right every once in a while. Hello Rossi, hope you're well. We are flying Dead Reckoning. No GPS. There's no VOR of any use. We don't have a DME. There's no NDBs left in Australia apparently. So we're just heading off in this direction until we hopefully cross the Stott Highway in about 5 minutes from now. iBot want to ask a question about Microsoft Flight Simulator's realism. Some people complain that it's not realistic enough. I think it's got promise. It's not quite there yet. Mostly with aircraft systems on the default aircraft. There's yeah, some of the systems on some of the default aircraft are pretty bad. The default Airbus A320, 787, 747, all that kind of thing. They're pretty horrific. I don't fly them for that reason. There's a few add-ons that are coming out which are very good, but there's only really 2 or 3 that I think have reached, you know, what I'd consider acceptable, and that'll be the working title CJ4, the citation. That is a very wonderful work of art, and it is revealing that, you know, proper airliners are possible. The second one is the helicopter, H135. Both of those are freeware, by the way. You don't have to pay any money to get them. Just download them. Working title CJ4, and was it Hype Performance H135. And apart from that, these Cessnas, the systems are so simple on these aircraft that you can barely get them wrong. Like, there's no GPS on this aircraft at all. It's just VOR, DME, a com radio, and your 6-pack, and that's it. And if we're brutally honest, the amount of instruments on this aircraft that are working in perfect condition is itself probably unrealistic. You should have, like, these altimeters and stuff should be calibrated badly. The DG should be flipping around at random. You know, this should be bouncing around like a jackrabbit. But yeah, for a basic aircraft, all the needles seem to work as they should. So, Cessna, yes, I like the Cessna. Some people don't like the handling of the pitch, and I do find it's a little bit too sensitive, but, you know, that's fine. Yeah, just start 8 grip against the 172. Actually, I find the 172 to be heavy in roll compared to the real one, and very light in pitch compared to the real one. The trim's a little bit too sensitive. I think we need a little bit more throw in it on these aircraft, specifically the Cessna 172 and 152. Whereas the trim on the citation is just about where it needs to be. Well, it does tend to bounce a little bit, so when you pull up it like goes what, and then settles. That's not very realistic at all, and I'm not sure why it does that. We did a stall and spin earlier today, and it seems to work out pretty much as it should be. In this aircraft anyway. As I said, we're not going to be doing a stall spin today on this aircraft. Oh, I've come back too far to the left again. Keep doing that, don't I? On the honeycomb controls, yeah, the feel is just about right in that axis. In this axis, it takes a little bit to get going, but then once you're going, it's hard to like fine tune it. The real aircraft won't be bouncing that much. That said, this tendency to balloon up That's pretty right. So we're maintaining perfectly fine pitch. 2 minutes later, oh, we're at 250 feet too high. I've been chatting too much and we've probably lost our highway about 3 minutes back. Dart. Just gonna have to assume it was on time and hope that we haven't gotten off course too much. So we'll assume that's on time. That's 10, 40, 50, 60. So that's on the hour. Oh, nice. Just double check that heading. I need to move a little bit to the west more to balance out the fact that I was 10 degrees too far east for about 3 minutes. It's about there. Trim that out. I find that trim is too sensitive on the Cessnas. Maybe it's that the trim is too sensitive and the actual elevator isn't sensitive enough. There's some weird balance going on there. I mean, it's something that you can get used to. It's just a little bit different to the real aircraft. That said, one Cessna 150 is different to a different one. So we're going to push this out and let's have a look at our map here. So we're down here somewhere past the Stott Highway, which is that. And we're heading towards Murray Bridge. Before we get to Murray Bridge, we're going to cross this little section here. This little bend in the river. And welcome to Australia, because look at the name of this place here. The bend in the river is called Chuck a Bend. Chuck a Bend. Chuck a Bend. Imagine naming a town Chuck a Bend. Speaking of Chuck a Bend, I think we can bend back onto our heading. Pick a reference point up ahead. And I'm seeing about that. Line straight down there. Oh, I've descended 100 feet. Let's get back up. Okay, I think we're roughly in the right direction. Let's double check that heading, 219, 220. still 15 minutes until we hit Chukka Bend. While we wait, I'm going to do two things. First thing is we need to set up Murray Bridge CTAF and check the altitude's about 200 feet. So CTAF 127.5. That's set and ready to go. Get back on the heading. Confirm our heading compared to the compass. So there's the DG. Here's the compass. Compass is showing about 220. So is that. And now I just need to keep flying straight at that little bulge in that green patch while we pick up the phone and call AWIS. Now this isn't the AWIS for Murray Bridge because it doesn't have one. It is the AWIS for Parafield because it's, you know, 40 miles away, close enough.
Number you have called is not connected.
Okay. Ah. It'll help if you dial all the numbers correctly.
Automated Weather Information Service, Parafield Airport, time 1045 Zulu, wind 040 degrees magnetic at 3 knots, visibility 25 kilometers, cloud clear below 10,000 feet, temperature 9er, dew point 7, QNH 1021 hectopascals, rainfall last 10 minutes nil. Automated Weather Information Service, Parafield Airport, time 1045 Zulu, wind 040 degrees magnetic at 3 knots, visibility 25 kilometers, cloud clear below.
Okay, it's 9 degrees. Altimeter 1021, which is the same as it was in Renmark, and wind 040 at 3, which is pretty similar to Renmark 070. So it's wind kind of from the north-east. Runway 01. I'll join the downwind. Yep, left downwind. So I need to cross over the runway and then join the thing. So I'll be in from the dead side of the field. Yeah. In 10 minutes till we Chukka Bend. There's a river out there somewhere. I think that's it, out, way out in the distance. The VOR has run out of range. There's no DME on the aircraft. coming in from like that direction. Sun's a bit low in the sky now. Imagine the sim will have sunset in the simulator in about maybe 3 hours. Oh, it's like 4 o'clock, so it's like 2 hours away. Hi there, Don. Hope you're well. Yeah, flat land for miles and miles and miles and miles. Quite a lot of Australia is very, very flat like this. Some of it's just redder with less trees and roads. Australia's, yeah, it's got a couple of mountain ranges, but for the most part it's just flat. Gets a bit more interesting on the coastline, but yeah, inland. Get used to that. Hi, the Blunders Bat. So you grab the numbers from your Ursa. So if you get the Ursa online, Murray Bridge, elevation, blah 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 blah. Well, this one doesn't have one, but if you did have one, it'd be listed in there somewhere. I'll just double check my heading and then go through it again. So my process for finding an AWS weather, click I agree to Air Services Australia, so there's Aeronautical Information Package, ASA. We're in Ursa, and Route Supplement Australia. I saw myself turn there. We're in the Ursa, you go down to the airport that you want, make sure it's one with an AWS. That's Camden, for instance, in Sydney. And to find Meteorological Information Services and a phone number. Yeah, ocean, open ocean, especially in a little plane like this with one engine. You lose an engine, you can at least land, but if you lose an engine over water, I'm out here walking for my river. I want it to be there in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Look, there's some random house. A road, a house. Not much else out here, eh? Just that dude in his house. 5 minutes out to the river and I still can't see it. Starting to get a little bit worried. I want to see the Murray River. Come on. No, worst case scenario is just keep on heading west until we hit it. We're somewhere between the river and the sea, and I'm wanting to hit it at that point there, at Chucker Bend. And if we started and ended the journey correctly, we should be there at 4 minutes. Double check that heading. Yep, that is correct. I know we did end up flying a little bit left and right, of course, occasionally, but I'm hoping that the lefts and the rights kind of cancel each other out. I bent it up too low. Done. Trim that back again. Is it that green snaky thing I'm seeing up ahead? I think it is. So turn left slightly again. Back to the right. I think that's Chucker Bend there. So way too far south. Dang. We're going to go directly west for a second. Get back on our course. Not go north, let's just go west. Yeah, that's definitely Chucker Bend. I was hoping to be over that spot about 1 minute, heading towards there. Okay, we'll pick it up again from the lake. So we're about 1 minute lost, maybe 2. Okay, we should be arriving at Murray Bridge at about time 16. A little place called Young Husband, right about there. This space, yep, cool. Cool, we can start going back on the course again. Okay, next time across the river should be Wood Lane. our river. Figure out which bend that is in the river. I think it might be Kalut. Which means we're roughly on track. That's got to be pond there. As it's Mud Palonga. Could be. Aha. Farm buildings down there. That's Southern Poultry. Yep, that's Mapalonga. I know where we are. That's where our eggs come from, right here. So the town I'm looking for, Wood Lane, is just about there. That's my blocker. Yeah, I reckon we'll be there at 11. That puts us in at time 1:06 at Murray Bridge, so the timing should work out okay. And just keep on ending up too far south every time. But I know where I am now. That's Mapalonga. Murray Bridge is the next major town to the south. Right about there. Murray Bridge, of course, is named after a bridge that crosses the Murray River off that road there. It's the first bridge in South Australia across the Murray. The only other way to get across the Murray River is on a ferry. There's a ferry up in Morgan, and another one up at Renmark, but no bridges. We continue west until time 11, at which point we can turn again down to Murray Bridge. Heading 220 up until the point we see the field. Get down to our proper heading, our height, sorry. 1 minute to go on this heading. That's Wood Lane there. Murray Bridge traffic, Echo Alpha Victor is the Cessna 150 at 2,500 feet to the northeast of the field. We'll be joining downwind. So we'll be joining downwind runway 01 at Murray Bridge, estimating time 16. Murray Bridge traffic. There's the bridge. Is that us there? Yes, it is. No, it's not. That's gotta be it. I'm sure I'm looking in the wrong direction. Could be it. It's in the sun. Yeah, no. Invited to a party. Is that our field? That's our field. Okay. It's 200 feet. Cool. Murray Bridge traffic, aircraft Victor is joining downwind runway 01, descending out of 2000. Okay, brakes are set, mixture is coming up rich. Fuel is set, pump. Seats and harnesses are secure. Alright, red traffic, Echo Alpha Victor, turning base, runway 01. That's a little too close. Alright, red traffic, Echo Alpha Victor, final runway 01. Cover heats off. Alright, red traffic, Echo Alpha Victor, turning to backtrack, runway 01. Alright, red traffic, Echo Alpha Victor, vacated. There's a fuel bowser. Won't need that for now. Brakes are set. There we go, 1 hour 57 of flying a Cessna 152. I don't have the old Dingus scenery, but I might go and get it. And obviously the parafield. Let's see, yeah. Old Dinga Beach. Yeah, we'll load up with some Adelaide scenery before next week, so I can do that nice and proper. Until then though, we'll pack the 152 here on the grass. at Murray Bridge. So I see birds chirp in the background as the sun sets. I'll say thanks for joining me. It's been fun flying over the rather flat lands of the Mallee here to Murray Bridge. I guess sometime next week we'll fly over Parafield down around the Adelaide area and maybe exit to one of the northern Adelaide airfields on the way towards, I'm thinking, should I go as far up as Port Pirie? Something like that? Who knows? But I'm sure we'll at least hit Parafield at some point. Anyway, looking at next week, obviously we don't have Friday night operations this week, so I'm thinking about doing the Brazil one again into Santos Dumont. So that to look forward to. I'll see you guys on the weekend or possibly earlier. We are in lockdown, so I might do something on Friday. Till then though, I have been Musical Aviator, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.